It's about the wrestlers with your host, Crazy Joe, on the Total Chaos Pecaw.
Welcome to Total Chaos Pecaw. Tonight our guest is he wrestles out of Atlanta, Georgia. His name is Matt CDawg Collins. How are you doing tonight, Matt?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself, Crazy Joe?
Pretty good, pretty good. Tell our listeners how you first seen wrestling.
I have to say, the idea of me actually wanting to wrestle didn't really come across my mind till I'd have to say I was probably around 12, 13 years old when I had moved down to Columbus, Georgia, and me and my brother and my dad, we were all living together. We didn't have cable yet, but my dad had told me and my brother that the cable was getting hooked up, and we hadn't seen wrestling in probably like 4 or 5 years. So the last time that we had watched it, you know, Hogan and everybody was still real big in WWF, and we were just pretty much excited that we were actually going to be able to see wrestling again. So we had turned to USA Network, and the first thing we see on the TV is Stone Cold Steve Austin doing the stunner on Vince McMahon.
So you must have loved...
Sir?
Sorry about that. That's my fault. Go ahead.
That's good. And from that moment on, we were pretty much hooked, because when, like I said, we haven't watched in like 4 or 5 years, and last thing we knew that Vince McMahon was just an announcer, but then to find out that he was actually the owner of the company, and, you know, so forth and so forth. So pretty much just growing up during the entire Attitude Era you know, sucked me in more, and actually that's when I really wanted to get into wrestling. But at the time, growing up, I really did not know where to go at the time. So it was where that it was just a dream that I originally had felt that was never going to be accomplished, up until, I want to say about 2-3 years ago, because I had actually got training prior to, but I didn't get a chance to actually get into a ring until then. And I had debuted with Center Stage Pro Wrestling, and it was pretty much all guns blazing from then on. I haven't really, you can say I have no intentions to stop until I physically can't anymore, or I have any other reason to pretty much stop.
Can you tell our listeners who trained you?
I actually have 2 trainers. The first person that actually initially trained me was Jerry Oates through GCW when they were in Columbus, Georgia. And then I was trained again by Patrick Edwards, the Widowmaker.
So tell our listeners how the training was. Was it easy, hard, difficult?
I'd have to say difficult to hard because it's where, you know, you're pretty much putting your body through things that you've never put it through before. I'd probably have to say anything that kind of comes close to that type of training, I definitely have to say would be like football players, because we're pretty much putting so much impact on our body just by training alone, and it's where we haven't even had our first match yet. You know, it's where, and because I was taking it so seriously, I was actually training 2 years prior to me even getting into a ring, because my trainer, Widowmaker, he's one of those trainers that feels like unless he feels that you're ready to be in the ring, it's where that your foot's not even gonna even touch a ring. So I mean, it's where it's not one of those fly-by-night type training deals. It's where you have to learn so much to where not only are you keeping yourself safe, but you're keeping the person that you're wrestling against safe as well.
That's pretty cool. So tell us how you tell our listeners how you paid your dues.
Pretty much like anybody else, it's where, you know, setting up rings, basically coming in hours before the show even starts and setting up rings, setting up chairs and passing out flyers, you know, basically just doing a lot of footwork. And it's where even now, even when I have been wrestling for about 2-3 years, it's where if it's where I see that people need help setting up a ring or anything for a show, even if I'm not a part of it, it's where I'll still help, because it's where, you know, any little part that you can do to help support a business that you say that you love being in and love taking part in, you should always feel like you can help. You should be able to help in any kind of way, no matter how long you've been in the business.
So tell our listeners about your first match.
Oh, okay. I'll do the best I can.
Hey, you're fine. You're fine with us.
My first match was against J-Rod, Johnny Rodriguez, and I had actually trained with him when I was training with Jerry Oates, but due to some personal matters I had to take care of, I couldn't continue my training. But he continued, and he became a real big name across Georgia and Alabama. I kind of lucked out, because when CSVWA first started and they had J-Rod, he actually requested me personally, because he knew this was going to be my first match, because I stayed in touch with him throughout the years, and he gave me the honor of basically being my first match. And basically after the match was over, he basically told me what I needed to work on and what improvements I needed and everything like that. And it's where that's one thing that a lot of people that start in the business, it's where that I've come across. It's where that when you're new, that's something you have to do. You have to listen to the guys that have pretty much paved the way for you, you know, because if it wasn't for them, that you pretty much wouldn't even know what wrestling was. I can say, I mean, he had told me that, you know, it went well, and I listened very well. Only issue is it's where I only remember to a certain point of my match, because it's where I actually had a slight concussion after a move. So it's where anything after that is pretty much a blur.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But I respect what you do, and I respect that you got in the ring and everything else. Tell our listeners your first tag team match.
My very first tag team match was with a guy by the name of G Smooth. It was actually when I went up to Whitesburg, Georgia, and I got into Hard Times Entertainment Wrestling. To be quite honest, for someone of his caliber, he really didn't have to tag team with me, but he chose to, and he took me up under his wing, and it was pretty much a solid tag team from then on. A lot of the things that I do in the ring now, I actually learned from him. And the first time we actually tag team, we went up against the first time we tag team, we went up against a tag team by the name of Southern Destruction, and that's J.C. Payne and Elrod Campbell. And to be quite honest, that had to be the most hard-hitting tag team match I've ever taken part in, because it was where these were big guys, and they could definitely remind you on how strong and how big they are.
So tell our listeners when you first got your singles belt.
My first heavyweight title was actually with Hard Times. I had beat Jay Bird Chambers, and I had become the heavyweight champion for that promotion, which was I want to say so new, because it's very rare that you have someone that's not even barely a year wrestling. As far as like that I've seen, it's where a promotion has so much faith in you to basically put their highest title on you. And I can't say that I just, that I earned it, which, I mean, it's where that I pretty much just listened and busted my tail in any match that they gave me. And it's where I had proved enough to them that, hey, we want to give this kid a shot with our main title. And I had a lot of fun with it. And my first loss, when I first lost that title, it was definitely another great moment, because I lost it to Cody Hall.
And so, can you remember who you won the belt off of to get that title?
I won the belt off of Jay Bird Chambers. It was actually kind of bittersweet, because it's where he had won the title from. It was actually vacant at the time, and he had won a match to get it. And at the time, my former tag team partner, he had left to take care of some personal matters, so it was kind of tough for me to kind of be on my own per se, and because it's where that when you're a part of a tag team, that's pretty much where you kind of like look to your side, and your tag team partner's been there to kind of, have your back and everything, to basically look and to be, oh crap, I'm by myself, he's not here. So it's where that I really had to prove that I could kind of be my own person without him there.
And tell our listeners about your first tag team title.
Actually, that is the one title I have not held yet. In the 3 years I've been wrestling, I have not had a tag team championship yet. Right now, I'm actually tagged with, I'm tag teamed with Playboy, and we've actually wrestled a few times for the 3 years that I've actually been wrestling, and it's where that every time that we actually tried to team up, it's where something else happened. It's where another direction pulled one of us to where we couldn't do it. But now we actually have a great opportunity, thanks to Scott East and Stan Robinson with Southern Extreme Championship Wrestling, and it's where we're gonna try to get their tag team belts.
All right. So let's say I'm a new wrestler.
Okay.
And how would you tell me to respect the wrestlers?
With me, I definitely have to say is as soon as you walk into that locker room, definitely shake everyone's hand. Like, make sure you shake everyone's hand, especially the veterans, and then just sit down, be quiet, and listen. Because that's your biggest help. That's the biggest tool that I could tell anyone, is to basically just listen to basically the vets that are in the locker room that you walk in, because it's where that, with you being new, it's where you're not really going to know what's going on or anything like that. So your best choice is to just kind of sit back and listen. And if you have any questions, respectfully approach a veteran. If he's in the middle of a conversation, wait for him to finish, and then, introduce yourself, and, any questions that you feel you might have, don't be afraid to ask. But also in that same aspect, show that veteran the respect that he deserves, because he's been in this business longer than you, and the quickest way to hurt your career is to disrespect a veteran.
And I'm not going to be rude, but let's say, for example, one of the wrestlers and they're new and they disrespect everybody. How would the other wrestlers take about that?
They're not going to take it well. To be quite honest, depending on the wrestlers no, not even depending on the wrestlers. Pretty much, another, more than likely, will probably end up happening is a veteran will kind of pull the promoter or booker off to the side, talk to him about the new guy that walked in and pretty much disrespected everyone in the room, and more than likely, for that, whatever match that they thought they were going to have, they're pretty much going to be thrown in the ring with the biggest, baddest person there, and he's pretty much going to have a bad night, and he probably won't get booked anywhere else.
And let's say if you wanted to wrestle anybody from the past or future, who would you like to wrestle? That's a two-part question. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's what I'm thinking. I know. Most people, when asked that question, it's where a lot of people my age, it's where that a lot of us will probably say like a WWE legend or a WWE superstar, but since coming into the independent circuit, it's where I've pretty much had my eyes open to basically what's another part of this business. I know a lot of people think that wrestlers just kind of just go straight into the WWE, and that's pretty much how you get there. But they really don't understand that there's years ago, it's where nobody really knew how you got into WWE, and it's where now you have now you're able to see a lot of the indie stuff, with Ring of Honor and New Japan and everything, and it's where that if I had to pick someone from the past, like from when I was growing up, the first person I'd say would be The Rock. But as far as future, right now I've definitely wrestled one of the people I look up to as far as like someone who's a mentor to me, and that's Murder One. But I know definitely another person I want to wrestle in the future is AJ Steele, because he's definitely someone that he's another person I've looked up to as a mentor, and I've pretty much kind of every now and then I'll talk his ear off every chance I get, whenever I see him. But those are definitely the two people I would definitely like to wrestle, past and future.
So tell our listeners, if you can wrestle anywhere around the world, where would you want to wrestle?
It would definitely be Japan, because some of the videos I've seen, I mean, those guys don't hold anything back. And it looks like it would be a lot of hard work, but I know at the end I would be a better wrestler, and I would have so much more experience underneath my belt. And also to add to my resume, because it's where it's so much. It's such from what I see from the videos, it's definitely a much more different atmosphere than what you see in the States. So, I mean, definitely, if I had a chance to wrestle anywhere, it would definitely be Japan.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know your style of wrestling. I don't know if it's hardcore or grapple or anything. And I was just wondering what you are. And I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful. And
you're fine. I would definitely say, as far as my style, I try to adapt to whoever I'm wrestling against. Every now and then, I have to change up how I wrestle, but overall, it's where I definitely kind of sway more to like basically just straight up brawling or power. And every now and then, I may do something technical, but overall, I pretty much like in your face type wrestling, to where I can get my hands on you and either clothesline you or put a big suplex on someone.
That's pretty cool. So we're going to take a quick little break here to get our thoughts going, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Are you there, John? So we are back on Total Chaos Pecaw with our guest Matt CDawg Collins, and
how's it going?
Pretty good. Tell us about the indie wrestling out in Georgia and wherever you wrestle.
Currently I wrestle out of Whitesburg, Georgia, and Temple, Georgia. As far as what's the wrestling like here, I would definitely have to say, if ever you get a chance to like come down this way, I definitely have to recommend shows like Peach State and AWE, UIW, SECW, Southern Fried, and I mean, and SPW, because it's where there's so much talent in this state, and it's where you're always gonna get a good show. Here recently, I went to a Peach State show, and I watched a championship match between Tyson Dean and Jimmy Rave, and it was an Iron Man match, and the entire time, it's where you were sucked into the match because it was so great, and it was where they let you know that you were going to go home talking about this match. And to be quite honest, anytime I've gone to a Peach State show, I've never been disappointed. I've always enjoyed every show that they put on. AWE, I haven't had a chance to go, but it's where the first chance I get, I'm definitely going to go check out one of their shows because of one of the guys that, like I mentioned before, Murder One, he wrestles out there, and so do some of the other guys I've wrestled against, or I've had the opportunity to watch. Jimmy Rave is also out there, Adrian Armour, Siler Cross, another guy that I've had the pleasure of kind of watching him grow in the ring. Glenn Matthews, he's out there as well. And also Simon Sermon and a bunch of other, awesome Georgia talent. But it's where it's hard to explain how these shows are because it's where they're so like intoxicating and addictive. It's where any time that you hear that or you see a flyer on Facebook on when their next show is, I mean, you're pretty much planning your weekend around these shows because you want to be able to go to them because you don't want to miss anything. And whenever you get a chance to actually experience it yourself, it's where no matter what I say about the shows, seeing it for yourself is so much better.
So, the shows you speak of, do they have, what's their mixture? Like, is there a comedy match, hardcore match, a mixture of everything in it, or no? Or straight go ahead.
It's a mixture of everything. I mean, like I said, I mean, you're always going to get a different variety from each of these shows. Peach State, it's where they have a family-oriented variety, and it's where it's like I said. I mean, it's where you're always gonna when you go to these type shows, you're gonna have a good time. Peach State's next show is actually July 18th, and if I actually have one of the flyers, I'd tell you who would be there. Also this weekend, July 11th, UIW has a show, and I'm partaking in that show. This will actually be my first time with a singles match. But to be quite honest, I mean, there's so much great talent that's going to be there. AJ Steele, Sean O'Hagan, Mad Dog, Dan Sawyer. I know I'm forgetting people, and I apologize. I'm apologizing now because, like I said, if I had the flyer in front of me, I'd read off the names to you to let you know about these guys because it's where I respect every single one of them, and to be on the flyer with these guys and girls, it's where that it's definitely one of those humbling type experiences, and like I said, I really hope I can keep going as long as I can.
Hey, everybody don't know the key word in this business. The key word is respect. And
right.
I'm sorry about that. I got a little sniffles tonight, and I rarely apologize, but But the key word is respect. If you can respect your wrestlers, the women, the men, the referee, the sound guy, the
Right.
owner, everything goes. Everything fits. You know what I mean? You can't just go in and say, hey, I'm the leader of this group and you're just going to fall behind me. You got to respect everybody. And after the show,
Right.
you should shake everybody's hand, like all the fans. Say, hey, thank you for coming to the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because some of the wrestlers forget about that. And the veterans like you, and you sound like a respectful person.
Well, I'm not a veteran. I'm still, I've been in it 3 years, but I'm still new, and like I said, it's where I do my best to show respect to everybody. Actually, to go back to the UIW show I was talking about, I actually have it. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it up.
That's cool.
But like I said, it's UIW, Universal Independent Wrestling. It's going to be Saturday, July 11th in Temple, Georgia. The main event is Mr. O'Hagan versus AJ Steele. Also, like I said, my opponent is Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. Also, there's a tag team match, SoFi Mafia, which is Brad Lynch and the Mercenary versus Awesome Ones, Awesome TC and Cody Gunn. Also, there's a match with Glenn Matthews and Leon Stresser, Eli Daniels versus Spiral, also Sean Nelson versus Owen Knight, and also one of my favorite female wrestlers, Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora. And if there's anybody that can definitely take anything that you throw at her, Pandora is definitely one of them. And there's other female wrestlers that I've been around, but it's where that most of the time when people see women's matches on TV, they're kind of like, oh, I'm going to go get popcorn or whatever. But here in Georgia, that is never the case with any of the female wrestlers that are ever booked. I've actually had a chance to meet some others: Jessie Bell, Tiffany Rocks, Dementia D Rose, Devin Nicole, Aja Para, and I know there's more that I'm forgetting. Like I said, if I had their names in front of me, I'd be able to name them all, and I could probably talk forever about a lot of them because they have a great work ethic, and they, like I said, they also take pride in making sure the fans see a great show.
It seems like you put them over more than yourself, and you're getting my respect. You know what I mean? Like I said before, the key word in this business is respect. You know what I mean? And
Yes, sir.
And it sounds like you respect the business.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, one of the things that my trainer drilled into me is basically you show anybody that you come and encounter with the respect that they're due. Because it's like I said, I mean, it's like they say, you are your own worst enemy. You can either make your career or you can break it. And it's where there have been companies I've been a part of that I wish I could be a part of again, but it's where I haven't had the time to get back in touch with them, but I do my best to keep in touch with them. Johnny Romano is another guy that he wrestles out in Albany, Georgia, along with Dab Savage and some other guys that wrestle out that way. and that's another crew that I respect, and that any chance I get a chance to talk to them, we'll cut up and everything, and we'll touch base and kind of catch up on, how each one of us has been doing. But it's where that there's never a time that I show any wrestler I'm around any disrespect, because it's where they've been in this business longer. And it's where if I'm ever to learn anything or even to be where they are, it's where that I show them that respect that they have earned.
And can I ask you a question? Quick.
Yeah.
It sounds like you got a sad spot in your tone.
I do to a degree, because I know, like I said, I know there's people I'm forgetting, but it's like I try to remember so many people's names, but it's where a lot of people don't really know. I mean, I know that I told you that, when I first decided that I wanted to get into wrestling, but it's basically where a lot of people don't really know why I basically finally decided to actually try to put all my effort into it. Back in 2009, I lost my brother, and it was where that it kind of, it woke me up, because it's where that I felt like that if there was ever going to be a time for me to actually try to actually even attempt to pursue my dreams, it's where that I had to, kind of get off my butt. I had to get off my butt and actually pursue them. Otherwise, I was going to have regrets. And, everybody's time is short, because no one really knows when they're going to die or anything like that. So, I mean, why not just, live every day to the fullest? And when I had the opportunity to yet again try to get into a wrestling ring, I met up with two guys through Facebook, Michael Stoneback and Patrick Johansson. And that's how I met Patrick Edwards, the Widowmaker. And they were basically looking for guys who wanted to train. And it was where that I saw this as my opportunity to try again to get into the wrestling ring. And it's because of them I was actually able to fulfill this dream, and I'm still going. So, I mean,
And from me and Total Chaos Pecaw, I'm sorry about your loss of your brother. I mean, it's not, I'm saying, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm sorry about your loss.
it is something that a lot of people try to understand, but I mean, heaven forbid that anybody loses someone that close. But it's never one of those times, never one of those moments that you can never get over. And as much as I try to tell people that, it's gotten easier over the years to deal with him being gone, I mean, but here it is, 2015, and it's where it's still hurts, because it's like that was my best friend. When I didn't have anybody else, I always had my brother. So to not have him here, especially when I'm doing something that we both love, it is kind of bittersweet, because I know he's up in heaven watching me, and I know he's proud of me. but it's also where I really wish he could be here also to partake in it.
There's a saying that I always heard is you carry people around with you. You know what I mean? I'm hoping I explained this right, because your brother's always going to be with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and I hope I wasn't disrespectful or anything.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? Because people who lost, it's usually they still carry on with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it is. We all lose people, and we gotta move on. And, you know what I mean? And
Right.
I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm trying to say it in the right way, and it's not coming out right. And I apologize for this.
No, you're fine. I appreciate it. You're doing the best you can. And like I said, I mean, it hasn't gotten easier over the years, but I mean, I have a great support system. I have great family and friends that, you know, just I do what I can to try to talk to them every day, because I know if I'm ever feeling down or something, I know I can reach out to one of them and kind of just, you know, talk for a little bit, and I know they'll help me out, and they kind of set me back on course to keep doing what I'm doing.
You gotta always follow your dreams. I'll tell everybody. I'll tell the wrestlers, or if you're a wrestler, a teacher, a cop, a doctor, a nurse, or whoever you are, you always follow your dreams. If you don't follow your dreams, you're gonna lose out on something. You know what I mean? You've got to just keep following your dreams. You never give up on your dreams. And when somebody tells you you can't do it, you got to push yourself harder, because you tell them, I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm going to prove people that I can do this. You know what I mean? Because people don't understand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, and tell our listeners where you're going to be in the next couple of weeks.
The next couple of weeks, I'll be bouncing back and forth between Temple and Whitesburg. The show that I wrestle for in Whitesburg is SECW, Southern Extreme Championship Wrestling. We actually have a show this weekend on Sunday. I don't know who I'm facing yet, but when I definitely have some more information, people can look me up on Facebook, Matt CDawg Collins, and they can definitely find out where I'm going to be. And I'll definitely be in either one of those places. Like I said, this weekend Saturday I'll be in Temple, Georgia, with UIW, and then on Sunday I'll be with SECW in Whitesburg, Georgia.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If, let's say, for example, people can't watch this, go to your show, is there any way people can buy the video cassette so they can watch it?
I do my best to try to record all my matches and get them posted on YouTube. Right now, I actually did a move recently, so it's where that I haven't had a chance to kind of get in front of my laptop and post everything, because I have someone, Melissa Adams. She actually records all my matches here lately, because she's made the effort to actually come down to Columbus to get me and take me to my shows, and I'm very thankful for that. But I post a lot of my matches, a lot of my older matches are posted on YouTube, and they're actually under my regular name, Matthew Collins. If you just go on YouTube and type in Matthew Collins, a picture will pop up, or you can also type in CDawg Collins, and that'll also pop up as well.
Do you have it?
Do I have a, go ahead.
Do you have any merchandise that you want to plug or anything?
I actually don't have any kind of merchandising right now, but I'm working on it. That's one of the things I'm trying to get together is my own type of merchandise, from pictures to shirts and also videos as well. Right now I'm actually going to get in touch with a friend of mine, Kimberly Tyson, because she's actually kind of getting into T-shirt design. So I'm going to try to see what she can do and hook up with her. There's also other people that I've been directed to try to get stuff made. Jack Lord and Rick Michaels and some other people that do gear and everything. And as far as like for my pictures, Heather Harmon is someone that I've kind of been pointed to. There was another guy that was doing a lot of the photo taking for wrestlers, but he actually moved, Harold J. Taylor. So wherever he is, I know that there are some wrestlers getting some great pictures, because I know we definitely miss seeing him at our shows and him taking pictures.
And, go ahead, I keep cutting you off, and I apologize.
You're good.
No,
you're good. Go ahead.
I was just wondering in my head, and I just lost the common thought here, because I was going to ask you something about if you had a chance to wrestle with a hardcore hero, who would you want to wrestle?
If I ever had a chance to wrestle hardcore, I would definitely have to say it would either be Mick Foley or Terry Funk, because those guys were definitely the guys for hardcore, even before they got into WWE. I mean, they were in other promotions, pretty much making hardcore what it was. I tend to try to stay away from those tight matches, because they definitely remind me in the morning what I put my body through to get a win for those type matches.
And so, before we close out the show tonight, and I would love to have you back on future date, because I would love to know more about your career and tell our audience what you're going to be up to.
I would definitely love to come back. Like I said, this weekend I'll be in Temple, Georgia, with UIW facing Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. This would be my first time going up against Mad Dog. I've heard a lot of good things, but I've also heard that he's definitely an animal in that ring. So I definitely better come prepared, no matter what, and give him everything I got. I wish I could think of more to say, but it's where I'm kind of out of my element as far as against Mad Dog, because the last time I had any interaction with Mad Dog, him and a couple of his cronies jumped me from behind. So this is definitely one of those revenge type matches. It's where this time I'll actually have eyes on him, and it's where he can't sneak me from behind. So definitely, Mad Dog, if you're listening, you have no choice but to come at me head on. So you better have every trick you got, because I know you have them, because the first time you came at me, you had to do it with a group of people. And this time, now you have me one-on-one. So you best believe I'm going to throw everything I can at you. And you can either take it, or you'll be looking up at those lights, seeing me stand over you while the referee raises my hand for the win.
And do you have any shout-outs to anybody?
Like I said, pretty much everybody I've mentioned tonight, I definitely want to give a shout-out to. Just saying thank you for all the opportunities they've given me, whether it's been a booking or had a chance to be in the ring with them. Like I said, Murder One, AJ Steele, Pandora, Jimmy Rave, Kyle Matthews, Glenn Matthews, Adrian Armour, Silent Cross, Chip Day, Dementia D. Rose, Devin Nicole, Raphael King, Mr. O'Hagan, Nemesis, Jesse Bell, Tiffany Rocks. I know there's Stanley Somerville, Chris Cox, Sean Nelson, Eli Daniels, Major Havoc, Lester Jr., Shannon Dumas, Scott East, Stan Robinson, who's the booker for UIW. I definitely want to thank him for the opportunity to be a part of UIW. Also, Mr. Billy Knight, another man that I've had the pleasure of talking to, and I look forward to definitely picking his brain and learning more about his business. Elrod Campbell, J.C. Payne, Matt Von Reaper, Juan Delgado, so many other names that I'm trying to remember, and I apologize that I'm not being able to remember everybody. It's where also I'm hoping if everything goes well, Center Stage will be making their return in 2017, and I'm hoping I can get a great fan base wherever we decide to have our show at. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else.
And before you said Center Stage, tell our listeners about that company.
CSPWA was the first company I wrestled for. They were the company that actually gave me my debut. They started up back in 2012, I think, 2011, 2012, and they had a couple of good shows. Just a lot of things, a lot of different things kind of go into keeping a wrestling company running, and at the time it's just a lot of those things were kind of hit and miss. So they kind of took a break. They started back up again in 2014. And it's where they couldn't really get the fan base that they wanted. So they kind of closed up shop again. And in 2015, I actually bought all the rights to CSPWA. And I'm hoping I can get it started up again. And hopefully this time keep it running. I'm looking to do a annual type fan fest show, and I'm actually looking, hopefully, to have a lot of the promotions and a lot of the superstars that are here in Georgia. I'm hoping to be able to use them as well for the show. It's just right now we're kind of doing a lot of groundwork, and we don't want to start up and basically not have all our T's crossed and all our I's dotted. So, I mean, we definitely want to do things right this time.
So it sounds like you're owner of this company.
This time, yeah. Before, the owners were Patrick Johansson and Michael Stoneback. And last year I bought it from Mike, and like I said, this time I'm hoping I can kind of get the right doors open for CSPWA this time around, and hopefully keep a good fan base going. I'm talking to a lot of the wrestlers and promoters and bookers that I work with and talk to here in Georgia, and I'm pretty much picking their brain to kind of see, what I can do to help this business flourish, because that's pretty much the ultimate goal. When you start up a wrestling company, that you want it to flourish, you want it to, succeed and to be a great company and have great shows that fans want to keep coming to.
And can I ask you a couple more questions, because you got my attention on this ownership, because I want to ask you a personal question, but I don't want you to think I'm coming off being rude, because I live on the East Coast.
Okay.
And the fan base is pretty big, because down in Philly they have Combat Zone Wrestling, Jakara.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big fan base. And out in Georgia, I was wondering what's the crowd rate, like 200-300? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything.
Oh, you're not. It varies. It really depends on the building that the show is in. You can have 200 to 300, or you can have like 50 to 100. It all depends on your building capacity, and also how much promoting you've done for your show. As far as like I said, the shows that I've been to so far and been a part of, Peach State and UIW, they draw pretty big crowds. So it's where that because they definitely do a lot of the footwork and promoting to get their shows out there so fans can come. That's definitely one of those tools that you have to utilize. You have to be willing to put in the effort to have your product get out there, so you can have a big fan base.
And so, can you tell our listeners how, if they were going to run a wrestling company, and how would they promote it? Like, how would they flyer it?
Like I said, I can only tell what I've been told. Definitely, passing out flyers, talking to businesses, asking them if you can put your flyer in their windows so people can see, where your show is going to be at. Social media is another route to go. If you have the money to actually do radio spots, that's another route you can go. Like I said, I mean, I can only know what I've been told from other promoters and bookers. So I mean, it's where I'm still learning myself. So I can't really give them a lot of information. But
Well,
I
go ahead,
go
Mike
ahead.
Paul. I was gonna
All right,
say
you're good.
I'm gonna keep a promise to you. And one thing about me, I keep my promise. When your first show happens, you email me, and
Okay.
you'll be on. I don't care who my guest is. You'll get a part of this show. So because you were willing to help me out tonight, because my regular guest didn't show up, and I'm not gonna give out no names, but you were willing to help me out. I'm gonna turn around and give you a hand. I will try to promote your show as much as I can on this show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And can I give you an idea that was just coming into my head?
Sure.
How many companies in Georgia do you have?
I'm not exactly sure how many companies there actually are total in Georgia. Right now I just know the ones that I've been a part of.
So what three or how many companies are you a part of? Because you know what I was thinking, just to get more fan base out of how many you're working with, you should do a little invasion angle. Maybe they try to help your company out and make the other companies better. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and actually that's actually the route I was thinking about going because it's where that they kind of, like I said, like to help promote my company. I was actually looking into invasion type angles with the other companies I'm a part of. But it's where that whenever I have my first show, I definitely want these companies that I've been a part of and that I've had the honor of being a part of. I definitely want them and their superstars a part of my show because I know that with them being a part of my show, I know I can definitely have a great show.
So what's can you give us a little secret of your blowout finish?
When I have it, I'll definitely, kind of give you a hint. Right now, me and my booker are definitely kind of like, kind of working on some things. When I have stuff more concrete, I'll definitely make sure you're the first one to know what exactly is going to be going on.
Thanks a lot. And like I said, and are you going to have a video cassette deal or anything? Because I wouldn't mind buying your DVD to check it out.
Definitely. When we have our first show, I'm definitely going to have it recorded and I'll have it posted on YouTube. And it actually just hit my head. Another one of the companies that I'm a part of, West Georgia Wrestling Alternative, WGWA. That's actually ran by Chris Cox and Stanley Somerville. It's where that's another company that I'm gonna try to have a part of my show. Because they like I said, a lot of the wrestlers I've named tonight, they've been a part of.
So it sounds like it's gonna be an interesting end of the year gig.
I'm actually we're shooting for 2017, and that's actually an idea of where it's either an end of the summer type show or end of the year type show. I might end up doing like an end of the summer type show because as far as like end of the year type shows, there's a lot of shows that'll probably be doing those type shows as well, and I don't want to interfere or try to run at the same time with them.
So you're going to tell us, our listeners, in 2 years you'll have your company opening.
Definitely. I'm hoping because with 2015 coming to a close, with like literally it being July and there not being many months left in 2015, it's where that I'm looking to take part in the next steps of getting my company together. Right now, I've pretty much been taking 2015 to basically find staff, from referees to bookers, and I'm actually looking at vendors as well for this show.
Go ahead.
You know, it's so much that goes into a wrestling show, and my time, not only being a fan but also, you know, a wrestler, is where I've taken every chance I've had to learn from these other businesses that I've been a part of.
Well, you got me thinking now, because you're telling me it's 2017 you're going to have your own company. And I'm a person who loves to think. And I love to think of the angles, storylines, everything. You know what I mean? I have a crazy idea. That's why they call me Crazy Joe, because I always come up with crazy ideas. So I was just thinking, and you never know. You might just pop up in other companies next year and start a little wave, huh?
That's definitely the plan. Definitely next time that I'm on, I definitely would love to have my booker with me, and I know you'll definitely enjoy having him a part of your show as well.
Oh, I would love to. This is Total Chaos Pecaw, and we love to have anybody on the show because we respect the business. That's the most important. This is the key word I throw out for the last 2 weeks. Anybody who listened to this for the last week and this week's show, respect. If you respect the wrestling, the business, everything, respect is the key word. You know what I mean? And I would love to listen to your booker. You never know. Me and the booker might get along, and we might have our own crazy little idea. You know what I mean? Hey, you never know. I might book the show for you, and then they might kick you out of the building because I have crazy ideas in my head. So, and I would like to thank you for being on our show tonight. And
no problem.
And it's been fun, you know what I mean? And I apologize for being a little shaky because it's, you know what I mean? I'm usually looking at the other person, and I apologize because, you know what I mean? And me, I'm just hanging upside down because my camera don't work. But, so I would love to have you on again in the near future, and you got my Facebook page, and when you want to come on again, you just hook me up on Crazy Joe.
Definitely. Thank you very much for having me.
Not a problem. And like I said again, before I end this show, the key word is respect. And have a good night, my friend.
All right, you too, sir.
And before we finish up this show this week, last week I forgot to send some sound outs to. And there's other people who run podcast shows. There's the Uncle Mike and Tom shows. Pretty cool guys. You should check them out. And then you have Turnbuckle Turnboil. Pretty cool. Another cool podcast show, but it's good. Jim Ross's Stone Cold Steve Austin's. There's a lot of them. But I'm going to be honest. Come back and check me out next week, Crazy Joe, because you never know what Crazy Joe's going to do. And that's the wrap. Goodbye. Somebody forgot to play the music. Maybe I should sing. I'm hanging around. Oh, that's it.